The great pussification of video games is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. Games are for babies now. That's right. The great this is a global event. It's a pandemic. I was going to make a video. I was going to talk about a bunch of small YouTubers, kind of going off my last video of one of these types of videos, because I love watching small YouTubers. And in my hunt for small YouTubers that I wouldn't normally watch, I found another video that I wouldn't normally watch called The Great Pussification of Video Games. There's currently a lot of political discourse around movies and TV shows and games and all of that. And it's a very difficult thing to talk about because on one hand you have people saying, "Oh yeah, this is what we need. We need more like shoehorning political stuff into our media." And on the other hand, you have people saying, "No, no, no. No politics. Our art and our politics and what's going on in the real world, that needs to be as separate as possible. We can't have the food touching on our dinner plate. That's got to be all the way on the other side of the room. We can't have both things at the same time. I want no semblance of the real world inside of what I'm eating." You know what? Actually, this video has nothing to do with what I just said, but I wanted to say that anyways because I think that it's an interest. Everything makes me mad nowadays. Nobody is right anymore. Let's just get into this video so we can talk about why he's wrong and why I'm so upset.
Today, I want to talk about the great pussification of video games that has happened the past 20 years. Is it a soy-based diet doing this? Is it the rise of OnlyFans simping doing this? If you have recently had the thought, "I wonder what new pumpkin-flavored items Trader Joe's has," be careful, my brother in Christ, you might be gay now. But if there's one thing that is straight as hell, it's the rock-solid video games of the 2000s. Your Gears of War, your Medals of Honor, your Chronicles of Riddick's. These games were masculine as hell, and we want them back, and we're boycotting video games until they come back.
Those games were straight, and they were masculine. That's what was awesome about video games back then, and that's missing now. We don't have any games about killing and blood anymore. We don't have any games about being a man anymore. We don't have any games. We don't have any games anymore, man. They're all gone. And things are worse now because games are more diverse. Diversity in the industry is bad. Reaching out to a larger demographic is bad. Having more people pumping their dollars into the gaming industry, that's bad. I liked it back when only men bought video games and there was a smaller demographic for this very broad art style.
I recently saw this disappointing photo of Phil Spencer being pushed out of the photo by two domineering girl bosses who are probably unfulfilled because they're trying to succeed in the corporate world instead of having children at home like God designed them to.
He's being pushed out of the photo. No, look, for real. Look, serious. You can barely even see him. I didn't even realize that Phil Spencer was in this photo. I couldn't even see him. Dude, they're like really trying to get in this photo, in this tweet. Oh my goodness. What does this tweet even say? A joy to chat to Xbox P3 Bonnet. It's about all the things Xbox games. Oh man. Oh dude, he's getting way pushed out of this photo. Ah, shoot. I can't even. Dude, Phil Spencer's losing it, man. Pretty soon, all these women are going to be running Xbox, and they're going to call it Sexbox because it's about the sex woman. They're going to call it F-Sex Box, as in female sex box. Oh, no. We're only 37 seconds into this video. This is probably going to give me what's one of those things that old people say that they're going to get when a young person does something?
So in this video, I'm going to literally prove it to you using science. What we will do is read the back of the box description of 6 random games from 2024, and then we will read the back of the box descriptions of 6 random games from the 2000s. And if what I'm saying is true, we should notice a feminization, a pussification, a gayification of video games that has happened the past 20 years. And before you bring up that video games don't have boxes anymore in 2024, Calm your tits, you know what I mean. So to find 6 modern games, I didn't have to look very far. I literally just went to the front page of Xbox Game Pass and found these games. This is clearly what Phil and his team of homos actually expects us men to play. Now you might say, oh, Andrew, you're specifically picking out games aimed at children. No, dude, I'm literally just going to the front page of Game Pass, and these are 6 games featured on the front page of Game Pass.
He says he's going to use science by choosing 6 random games. And then he says that he is going to choose 6 games that were actually handpicked by people and then put somewhere. They're not random games. And then he also says, I'm going to take 6 random games from the early 2000s off of my shelf that were handpicked by me in the early 2000s. This is science. Like, obviously, he's not being serious when he says, yes, I'm going to be scientific here. It's not, like, I know that he's not really going to be scientific, but if you really want to make a case study about this, then let's make a case study about this, and let's see, like, which games are doing really well. Let's analyze a lot of the things. Let's analyze the change of the market. Let's not just say, hey, look, I really liked these games back in the early 2000s, and these are the games in this, after the change and the shift in the industry, these are the games that Xbox is promoting on their Game Pass. Game Pass is obviously meant to appeal to the broadest audience possible. That's what Xbox is putting all of their, that's the basket that Xbox is putting all of their eggs in, which is a terrible strategy. Xbox is the dumb of right now. Now, there's a lot of women that are getting into gaming. There's a lot of kids that are getting into gaming. And if I'm a parent and I'm looking at Game Pass and they're like, oh look, there's a lot of games that are like family friendly that we can put on the TV in our living room and my children can play them, or my children can watch me play them. These are games that like we can have in our home that aren't going to turn my kids into serial killers. Not that games turn people into serial killers, but you have to think about, like, Xbox is trying to appeal not just to men, but to the entire demographic, and that includes kids and their parents and women and all these people now, because gaming has become a more accepted and bigger thing. It's a bigger fetching industry than it was way back when all you had to appeal to was guys that wanted to shoot stuff because they hadn't been able to shoot stuff since World War II. But now, guys have shot stuff, and a lot of guys are sick and tired of shooting stuff. There's a lot of guys who are like, wow, this Undertale game where I can, like, spare people and the story gets more complicated and more interesting, the more people that are still alive at the end to see the ending, that's awesome. That's kind of cool. That's neat. I still like killing and bloody games. That's fun, but, like, there's also all of that. There's a whole different side of this that we haven't explored very much. We men have emotions, I think.
Also, side note, isn't it weird that these pedo developers are always making games aimed at kids? But that's a whole other thing I'm not going to get into right now.
It's not weird, actually, because like I mentioned, oh no, they're pedophiles because they're trying to get money from the kids. They're not pedophiles. They're just greedy corporate scumbags. There's a difference. Maybe they are pedophiles in their free time, but this is... Shut the bitch up. I didn't necessarily pick manly games, but just random games. Oh, oh, dude! Oh,
it's
shoot!
About time. Let's finish this.
They are Brothers in Arms Road to Hill 30, Ride to Hell Retribution, Modern Warfare 2, Dark Sector, Deus Ex Human Revolution, Chronicles of Riddick, Assault on Dark Athena.
I didn't choose specifically manly games. These are just like, these are just games that every single one of them is rated M. We put Call of Duty on there. Like, what? Every single one of them just has the men's. This one has motorcycles and skull and guns. But I didn't just choose manly games, though. I didn't just choose masculine games, because there was no, more conserved, more reserved games back then. It was just like this. So, like, these are the more temperate games.
2024, Creatures of Ava. Let your empathy guide you as you play an exciting action-adventure creature saver game. Understand and tame the creatures of Ava and let them lead you through a variety of ecosystems, all in the hopes of saving the planet from a life-consuming infection.
It's kind of
I also
cool.
found out that the two main characters of this game are, of course, homosexual black women because, 2024. Let your empathy guide you.
He's got a point there with the homosexual black women. Why is every single character a gay black woman? Like, if I were a gay black woman and every single character was a gay black woman, I'd probably be like, dang, I'm feeling a little called out right now. What's going on here? I might actually feel a little appropriated in that situation if every single character were a gay black woman and they were doing it just try and make more money off of my sexuality and my ethnicity. That's really honestly kind of ridiculous.
Let your empathy guide you. Like, what the hell? I don't I don't play video games to let my empathy guide me in, ooh, I want to be gay and collect creatures and like, this game just sounds retarded, let's be honest.
Does the gameplay
So now
does the gameplay revolve around being gay though? Is there a side quest where you have to like be gay? Is it like, what's wrong with is this guy gonna start like crapping on Pokemon? Because in Pokemon, like, that game's about friendship. Like, that game was big in 2005. That game was massive in 2005. Oh no. Like, what? I think this game, like, it's not my cup of tea, but I can see, like, look at these really cool and colorful and alien environments and stuff. This is, like, the graphics and the art style, I think, are really awesome. Look at these freaking horses. The fetching, look at, like, that looks kind of cool. I think that it looks kind of neat. Again, I wouldn't play it, but I can see that this appeals to a lot of people nowadays, and that's awesome. That's great. I'm glad that there's people that can find video games that they want to play.
2005, Brothers in Arms, Road to Hill 30. The back of the box says this: they would sacrifice everything except each other. Like, damn, dude, just grabs you by the balls. Like, that is the back of a box. I'm like, okay, I'm interested now.
This guy wants to get grabbed by the balls.
Back of the box. It goes on.
This
the night
guy's
before
gay.
D-Day, 1944.
This guy's pretty
the
gay.
paratroopers of the 101st Airborne Division are dropped into Normandy and scattered behind enemy lines. As Sergeant Matt Baker, lead your squad through 8 harrowing days that will define history and unite you forever as brothers in arms. Like, bro, like, the balls of these games description. I have to go play this game now. See, this is what's honestly missing from the 2024 homo trash. Like, nothing is good anymore. Nothing grabs us. This is why video games profits are down. And they've completely quit catering to their base market of men. Next game.
Oh no, they stopped catering to the men. Why is that? Is it because the men... I've already talked about that. I'm not going to get into it again. But my gosh, guy, read the room. Like, look at... I don't understand. Like, I understand, like, he's got a complaint. It was awesome. Like, if this is what you like, back then, if every single thing was targeted towards you, that's awesome. It's like Kenland from the Barbie movie. But that's not how it is anymore. We don't live in Kenland anymore. It'd be cool if we did. It'd be cool if every single game catered to what I like in video games, but they don't.
Armed with a sword and a tourist guide, explore the beautiful alpine village of Hinterberg and uncover the magic hidden within its dungeons. Master magic, solve puzzles, slay monsters. All this and more awaits you in Hinterberg. Like, okay, I like swords, but based on the game's art style, I know within the first 5 minutes, we're meeting somebody's non-binary boyfriend. Like, nah, dude, I'm good. Now compare this with the 2013 masterpiece, Ride to Hell Retribution. Back of the box says this:
Wait, did you just call this game?
2 wheels, no rules. Now, it's a little cheesy, but I already know one thing.
Did he call this game a masterpiece? Is this the same Ride to Hell Retribution that we're thinking of? Where every single mission is about you saving a girl and then you have sex with her, but you don't actually have sex with her because you have clothes on? Like, is that the same Ride to Hell Retribution that we're thinking about? And he's like, yeah, this game is a masterpiece. I've never even played Mario Galaxy.
Guided by Inky, who shares his knowledge of the world with you, your combat skills and traversal abilities will be imbued with this magical powers, making you a duo to be reckoned with. Like, nah, dude, it just sounds gay. It sounds queer. Why is every game like this now? It's always some magical nonsense that never sounds cool. It's like none of these developers beta tested any of these ideas with normal guys. I guarantee you get a bunch of straight dudes in a room and they would tell you this idea was terrible. Oh, but the cherry on top, of course, is this black female lesbian girl boss as the main character. Like, F off, dude. I'm not playing. I think it's a woman. It might be a man. It might be a they, them. All right, jumping back to the.
I'm gonna be honest, like, that kind of looks like a cool game. I like I like the idea of having a flintlock gun and a tomahawk. I think that's cool. I don't know why this guy hates magic. Sorry that you hate magic. Again, with the lesbian black lady, it's kind of obnoxious. But like, does that compromise the entire experience? Does that compromise everything?
Adam's choices will affect both himself and all of humanity as he seeks answers across the globe. Like, dude, I am rock hard right now. Like, I want to play this game. I don't want to play anything.
Guy's hard. This guy's hard after watching a game. Like, he hears about a dude and he's hard. This guy's gay. I think this guy might be gay, dude. I think I don't think maybe I don't know if that's cotton 4K, man. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, we're dudes and we want games about dudes. And we want games about male transformation and identity and a man who is going through something, who is actually a man. I can't really describe what made the 2000s games so good other than that they're focused exclusively on the male psyche because it was men playing the games. It's always been men playing the games. So as long as Sony and Xbox don't realize this obvious fact and keep designing games for 14-year-old girls, for women, and for gay men, I truly think Xbox is going to go out of business and Sony will go out of business if they don't figure out who their audience is quickly.
What about Nintendo, huh? Is Nintendo going out of business? Are they going out of business? What about Nintendo, huh? He actually brings up a really good point, which is back when games are focused around men, they seem to be focused a lot more around the male psyche. And he talks about like we want a game with a story about a guy going through something and struggling, and that much is awesome when you have a main character that struggles with something, and that has flaws and has issues, and then he changes and he grows and he becomes more powerful, or maybe not more powerful. I shouldn't say like. It's not just about becoming more powerful, but it's about becoming a better person. When you have a game about a woman, then the game doesn't seem to be about the woman as a character. It's about the woman as an object, funny enough. We're talking about the gay black woman who is a gay black woman simply for just to be a gay black woman. And there's no more depth to it than that, which is really sad because the female psyche is also very complicated. And there's a lot of very powerful women in the world. And I think that women deserve the same case study that men get in their video games and in their stories. There's a lot of really cool, like, why can't we have that same stuff with women? I wouldn't mind seeing, I think having cool, powerful women is honestly really cool, and I don't mind it. Lara Croft, very cool character. There's a Netflix anime coming about Lara Croft. That's awesome. Watched an Arcane, and it's about, like, a couple of really strong women. There's some really cool there's some badass women in that show, and it's awesome. And they have deep psychological, crevices that they're trying to cross within their minds. They have issues and they have struggles, and it's so cool. Everything else that this guy has said is trash, though. It's so hard to like be like, oh yeah, you know what? He might be right. Maybe there isn't so many. But then I'm thinking about like Elden Ring and Resident Evil 4, and they have that new Doom coming out. And then there was also Resident Evil 8. There's Space Marine 2 and Helldivers and Halo. And like, oh man, that like they have that new Ghost of Tsushima game, but Ghost of teriyaki or whatever it is. And like I don't know what the sales are. I don't know what the numbers are. Maybe he's right, and maybe they really do need to change and shift back to what they were doing before. Nintendo has made a really large buck, one just massive buck off of making Kirby and Mario Party and Mario Golf and Mario Tennis and Mario Kart. Just making games targeted towards younger children. They make a lot of money doing that. They figured it out. Xbox is trying to kind of break into that market a little bit, and I don't think it's that bad. I think the more competitive that they are, that's better for us because it means that they're trying harder. I think some of the games that they showed almost look a little bit cheap. Like there was the one Chio game, like the ukulele game that he was talking about. That game looked kind of cheap. That game looked like it was made by a college student in Unity over a weekend. But the rest of them, I think, kind of looked cool. Again, like I wouldn't play them because I don't really play a ton of single player games anymore. But people are gonna like those games. That's great for those people. I don't think I have to say anything else about this. I think this guy is a moron.